Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we're going to be reviewing the final symbiote, Agent Venom. And you probably wondering why I left him to the end. That has to do with the fact that he's probably going to be the least picked up, the least invested in, but also the most specialized, which can be a good thing, but also can be a bit of a limiting factor in Marvel Future Fight, because they went ahead and gave Agent Venom a pretty unique kit and a support passive on top of having the ability to equip a support artifact. So support written all over this character, and with support in mind, I want to talk first about his standalone value. So on the outset, he has a lot of really good passives, and we'll talk about the passives later, but that's what I want you to know for now. He has really strong passives, so he seems like he could be a good addition to your roster for you to actually play as him. He moves quickly, he's got a lot of offense, defense, stuff like that. But then you get down to his skills, and while his skills are very cool, like this tentacle skill looks really cool and leaves this lingering symbiote thing, his third skill also looks amazing, where he shoots you just a little bit, but then he creates this turret, and the turret just keeps shooting, which is super cute and also quite unique. Like I said, very unique. It's true this time around. His fourth skill, while generic, still looks really badass. He basically just circles you, peppering you with symbiote bullets, and he does a backflip. These don't combine into good skills to use in a rotation, at least not in a proc-friendly rotation. So I'm not even going to bother doing much of a review on him with a proc. I do not think you should give him a proc or a CTP of energy or a mighty destruction if you have any intention of building up your Agent Venom. I know a lot of people are not even going to go that route because of what I said at the beginning. He's a support. They're just going to slap an insight on him, and that's fine. But if you want to make the most out of your Agent Venom, I honestly think Rage is the way to go, because here's the thing. You can cancel 5, but you have to cancel it after he slams down the second time. There, you can cancel it. There's just too many hits, and the timing is too difficult to get it down right in the middle of a battle. You can also cancel 3, but there's also a hit. And then you go into 5, and then you can go into 4. Again, there's just way too much time. There's way too much of a delay. The slow-mo, it looks really cool, but I do not think that this is proc-friendly at all. What's nice is that the chain hit actually lingers from the turret. So it's like stacking up 70, 74. And the other cool thing is, not that you would be able to do this, but at least in the skill preview, you can spam and you can summon multiple turrets. This looks so sick. Again, you can't do this in real gameplay because your skill cooldown wouldn't be this short, but that's what skill preview's for, okay? It's not for reality chasing, it's for hilarious hijinks, okay? Can we summon a fourth one? We can summon a fourth one. Let's go. Let's go. Can we summon a fifth one? Okay, send me a screenshot on Twitter or Discord with the most number of turrets you've been able to spawn at the same time. No Photoshop, by the way. There's been people Photoshopping things lately about Hulk. Me no like that. But anyways, I said he had really good passives. Let's get into it. So he's got 40% crit damage, 30% guaranteed crit rate, and 50% increased damage to villains. That reads like a laundry list of the best offensive PvE supports. Very, very strong passives for him. Again, the 30% guaranteed crit rate is what makes me think, along with his rotation, that a Rage would be best for him. And then he also has the leadership for 30% physical attack, and then his passive, Emergency Escape, gives him not only super armor all defense, which is amazing, like Gore has that. He also has an auto heal like Gore, and when he's under 30%, he has a 50% heal. That's pretty nuts. Now, if he had, well, he also has Ignore Iframe. So honestly, and he has a penetration. Honestly, I think you're better off building him for something like Alliance Conquest if you like that game mode. That's a big if, just because he has a lot of the tools needed for that game mode. I don't think there's any point in saying that you can use him for timeline battle, because we know how difficult it is for characters to crack the one-on-one PvP meta. It's so tight, and there are so many strong blast types still. Adam Warlock, Emma Frost, Blue Dragon, and Hulk is the only one that has been able to carve himself a place in timeline battle PvP. So I don't think it's realistic to say, oh yeah, you could build Agent Venom for PvP. He has the hallmarks of PvP, But unfortunately, we basically only have 2 PvP game modes, right? We have Timeline Battle, where it's the bar for entry, the expectations are way too high, and then we have Alliance Conquest, where you can use your whole roster, so it doesn't necessarily highlight characters like this. I honestly think that Agent Venom is basically like a better version of Absorbing Man or Juggernaut, where they're clearly valuable for something like PvP, but they're just not strong enough to be like Hulk for you to use in Timeline Battle, so they're relegated to Alliance Conquest, which many fewer players are enjoying. His other support passive that he gives to all allies is this one here. The symbiote allies gives chain hit damage reduction when attacked, and then chain hit damage increase when attacking. So this, again, has a really valuable dual ability for PvE and PvP. The 20 chain hit is really good for PvE. The 35% chain hit reduction is really good for PvP. But again, probably best for, you guessed it, Alliance Conquest, because you're not going to be using a full symbiote team in Timeline Battle. You're going to get giga clapped by a blast type or 2 blast types, right? There's no revive for symbiotes. There's no other meta abilities. So it really isn't going to happen for them in something like Timeline Battle, but you could definitely make a really gnarly, cool Alliance Conquest symbiote trio, and I'm sure players like MFF Doom and Commander are already cooking up some cool strategies for that, given that a lot of the symbiotes have iframe ignore and have auto heal, right? Toxin, Toxin, Venom, and Agent Venom could be a really amazing combat bulk team. As far as his artifact goes, and again, this might be what pushes you to buy his uniform. His artifact is quite strong, again, for symbiotes, specifically for symbiotes. It increases damage dealt to enemies with 25% HP or higher. That's 75%, right? From 100% down to 25%, you're going to deal more damage. And increasing the basic damage dealt is important because there's mainly 2 ways to increase your damage: increasing your attack and increasing your damage. And as we've seen from leaderships like She-Hulk, increasing the damage scales much better than increasing the attack, because you already have attack from your cards, you have attack from the leadership, right? You have attack from the ISO set, so the diminishing returns are much more apparent on attack than they are on damage. It also decreases the damage you receive. So again, offense, defense, PvE, PvP. But I know I know most players are not going to have his artifact. I don't have his artifact, but it's just something to consider if you really like symbiotes and you really want to go all in on symbiotes for something like Alliance Conquest. It makes his uniform a lot more attractive, and it makes him as an option, as a build-up option, a lot more attractive. I have him here with a very generic 140 proc obelisk. I just want to show you a little bit of content on how impossible his rotation is to cancel into and to proc on before we swap over to something else. The last cool thing I want to say about Agent Venom before we get into the gameplay is he actually has a lot of really good abilities. He has Agent, which gives him 10% ignore dodge. He has Symbiote, which gives him another 10% ignore dodge. And then he has Leadership. So not only is he a really good striker, because he can give your character 20% ignore dodge with this one, he can also give you, you can also use him with White Fox to get advantage of that leadership ability, which is quite strong. Even with White Fox and his 2 abilities, we still need to use some ignore dodge strikers. And basically what we're going to try to do is we're going to 6, 3, 5, and then 4. Yeah, the proc did not work. There. Okay, let's try this again. Missed it again. I don't know what I procced on. But yeah, you guys can see with double support, not being able to land your procs basically makes this impossible. Here's what we're going to try to do. We're going to try to start really early. There we go. That's a good proc. There we go. So it's like you see, even with a good proc that's only 3 bars, I think we're procking on 6. This is just 5 into 6. Like, it's not bad, but it's so difficult to use. We missed another proc on 3. There's way too many hits at the beginning of skills. This is why it's really important when you identify a character that has, we procced on 5. When you identify a character that has a really long delay, like Gore's 4th skill, or Toxin's, we procced on 3 there, Toxin's 3rd skill, that's really important for, you know, we procced on 5 there. This is a disaster. I mean, you could probably try a lot harder and get a little bit better at proccing, but there's just so many hits. It just doesn't make sense. And as much as I want to use him, as much as I would want to see his damage with an obelisk or a CTP of energy, because it's like 50% chain hit, and we know that CTPs of energy are better for World Boss Legend, even though they're worse for GBR. I honestly think if you want to use him as a standalone character, and you don't just want to use him as a Venom support, then I would say Rage is the best option. I'm probably, just to give you an idea, I'm probably am going to use him as a Venom support because he's a really good support for Venom in something like GBR, and by using him as a support, I can free up other characters to use on other clears for GBR, which is what I like to build more teams. So right now I use She-Hulk lead and Agent Venom support for that, and I'll make a separate video explaining why I think She-Hulk lead is by far the best lead for Venom for as much content as you can do. But I'm also going to be getting Agent Venom's artifact. So I really think ultimately, before we give him a rage and jump into this final piece of standalone content review, I really think that you building up this character and getting this uniform are dependent on two things. One, do you have or will you be getting Venom to tier 4 or at least level 80? I think that's first off the most important thing in whether you're going to buy this uniform or not. And then secondly, I think, are you going to buy this uniform if you have or you can easily get a 4-star, 5-star, or 6-star version of his artifact? So I think that's going to be the last qualifying option there. But with all of the stats capped here and the CTP of Rage equipped, sorry, I changed my mind. So I thought since we tested Scream and Toxin against Mephisto 29 and also 39, it would be more interesting to test him on 29 and 39, because I honestly think what will be good about Agent Venom is the fact that he can survive very well like Toxin does versus Mephisto. And also, because he has the leadership, I believe he should be able to do 39 as well. So again, you do have sort of like a mixture between Toxin. He actually feels like a mixture between Toxin and Scream. Now that I say it out loud, it makes perfect sense. Because he has the passives of Scream, but he has the defensive healing of Toxin. So that's actually pretty cheeky on Netmarble's part. But let's just see if he's any good. I don't know. The CTP of Rage, double support. This is technically triple support, because he has his own 50%. So check this out. He has 40% increased damage from villains on his striker list. Then he's got 50%, I believe, or 55% from Valkyrie. Then he also has his second skill does pretty decent damage. Then he also has 50% of his own. So he has like 150% increased damage to villains, dude. You can see he doesn't take any damage. He's super duper tanky. This is like Juggernaut levels of tankiness, but he has a lot of little ticky-tacky hits. So you are in a situation where, his 5 has iframe ignore, or his 4 has iframe ignore. He has a lot of ticky-tacky hits, so he builds up Mephisto's rage outburst very quickly, which can be annoying. But as far as the tankiness goes, let's go, dude. Let's pop off here. The rage proc was honestly a little bit late for my liking. But yeah, this feels way smoother to play. Again, not everyone is going to want to play their Agent Venom. They're just going to want to use him as a support, and I can totally understand that. But if you do want to play him, I definitely think this is the way to go. And I definitely think this is the rotation you want to use. 3 into 5. When he lands, go into 4. And then if you have time left on your rage proc, in this case I don't, but if you did, you could then use 2, because I think 2 has some pretty decent damage. But yeah, that is what I would do. And again, not everyone is going to want to build their Agent Venom like this. You might just want to slap on an Insight or something else and just build him for support. But there are also people who want to build him for offense, and I don't need to do a review if he's a support type, right? What would be the review? Hey guys, here he is with an Insight, and he makes Venom stronger. Wow. Like, there are better supports for Venom. Let's be clear about that. Valkyrie is a better support for Venom, so I'm not saying that Agent Venom is the best support in the game for Venom. But the thing is that we are always in short supply of supports, so having him is always better than not having him if you want to make the most out of your Venom, and you have him tier 4, etc., right? Especially for things like GBR, where you can't even use Coulson, you can't even use Nick Fury, etc., and these sort of types. So we're doing pretty well here. Not quite as well as Toxin, but still pretty decent. But also they had obelisks. See, here's the thing. It's like, okay, you got a CTP, so you expect better performance. But then we know Rage has worse performance than Energy, and it can actually have worse performance than obelisks, right? So his pop-off is not too good here. Getting only about 5 bars. He doesn't seem to have a lot of burst damage. He seems to have consistent damage rather than burst damage, which again may be something that's better for PvP or rather than PvE. But how many symbiotes on your roster do backflips? Probably none. Okay, let's wrap this up here. And we're gonna do one more quick little experiment. Yeah, his 2 does a lot of damage, dude. Maybe you want to mix in the 2 a little bit sooner. Yeah, I think that's a better rotation. So I think you want to do 3, and then after about half a second you do 5, and then after he lands you do 4, and then with about 2 seconds left on your rage proc, you want to hit the 2, because the 2 adds this really nice burst of damage at the end. First off, I want to see if he has the damage. Second off, I want to see if my new rotation has some good results here. So we're going to play into 4, and then we're going to slap into 2. Okay. 4. And then 2. Okay. 3, 5. You sort of start the rotation before the rage proc is up, right? So the nice thing is you can always be doing something with Agent Venom. Oh, we got a lot of extra hits there. Oh, yeah, because this 4 has iframe ignore. That's kind of cute. That's kind of cute, though. So we got the 20% or 10% chain hit from White Fox. We have the 60% increased damage to super villains from her passive, plus his 50%, plus the 50% on the striker. So we're at 160 plus % increased damage to supervillains. No biggie. No biggie. Just a casual 160%. Okay, we're not yet in the next phase, which worries me a little bit. There we go. So yeah, he can actually do this. That's pretty nutty. Max support, say what? And when you know, let's see if he can tank this. Not bad. Not bad. He can tank it. Again, you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that, but he can tank it. He has enough healing, and I don't even think that triggered his heal at the end, because he has a heal at the end in case he drops below a certain amount. Go ahead and pop off here. 1, 2, 3, about 4 bars. Not bad. Could be better. Like, I do think Scream does more damage, but she has access to a CTP of energy that she can utilize. I don't really think Agent Venom can utilize the CTP of energy, right? Like, his rotation is just not proc friendly at all. But yeah, hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of Agent Venom. Just a support? Yo, he tanked it again. Just a support, more than a support, or something in between? Thank you so much for watching. Smash the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.